Hi guys, thank you so much for deciding to hang out with me for a little bit. I am coming to you live from Dublin. My husband is here for a business trip and I am here to do a little solo travel. I've been traveling the city for the past 4 days. It's been lovely. Today it is raining. I'm supposed to do a tour of the cemetery and I thought that I would just wait and see if the rain will settle down a little bit, and I thought that I would do a video. I am super tired. I feel like I haven't slept in a million years. I can just see my dark circles. I'm sure you know what that's like. You go somewhere's new or you go to a hotel and the bed is just not your bed and it's hard to sleep, so I'm a little tired. Haven't been sleeping. Sorry, I had to fix the camera. But I've been having a wonderful time. I've had so much fun. Honestly, I've never traveled solo before. I've never, ever done that. So it's been a really big deal for me. I've learned a lot about myself. I've gained a lot of confidence. Traveling alone, honestly, is amazing. Like, even though I traveled here with my husband, he's at work all day long in this workshop. So I have all day and I wasn't going to sit in the hotel and do nothing. I mean, I've never been to Europe before. I've never been to Ireland before. I don't know if I'll ever get back. Like, I'm just a poor working apprentice at a funeral home and tarot reader. So it's not like I have all kinds of cash to travel the world with. So it was a really big deal that I got out of my comfort zone, and I highly recommend it to anyone. Obviously, as long as you're in a safe spot and you feel safe, go for it. Get out there and do some solo traveling because it's amazing. You get to go to all the places that you want to go to, you get to eat where you want, and it's a lot of it gave me a big confidence boost. The fact that I could navigate the bus system, because I've been just taking the public transit, and the fact that I could get around and get back to my hotel, I'm really, really proud of myself. So I'm just gonna pat myself on the back a little. It's a big deal to me. It really, really is. So I think that this trip has been so much more than I thought it would be. So it's really, really been special. I went, of course, as a pagan abroad. I had to go and see if I could find any little occult shops or pagan shops, and I found one called Yellow Brick Road, and it was awesome. I am doing that whole depth year thing, which I talked about, but I made an exception in my depth year for this trip because, again, it's not like I'm going to come back here. I need souvenirs. I want to have things from my journey and my travels so I can look back on. So I did pick up a couple of things, and I thought that I would share them with you, and then I would do a little unboxing of a tarot deck that I bought. So first I found this beautiful piece of rose quartz. It's gorgeous and it sits really nice in your hand. I didn't intend to buy this. I was actually hoping to find some amethyst because I really like amethyst, but I didn't feel any connection to any of the pieces. And this piece I felt really drawn to, and it's nice and big. It only costs €5, which is awesome. At home, I would probably pay upwards to $10 to $15 for a piece this size. So it was really great to find this little gem. So I'm loving this rose quartz. I get a good vibe from it. I'm not a huge crystal candy person. So I feel like when I do connect with a crystal, it's really important to me. So I picked this guy up. And I found a really cool amethyst pendulum. My grandfather, you might be able to hear the airplane. I'm not far from Dublin airport. My grandfather gave me his pendulum before he passed away, but I don't use it very often because it's so special to me. It's almost like an heirloom. It's something he's had for a long time and I'm afraid to lose it. So I usually keep it in its velvet bag. So I wanted a pendulum that I could keep with me. So help me with some decision making. I can be very indecisive, and I thought that maybe having something that could help me would be beneficial. And this is just beautiful. I thought, what a great little souvenir to take back with me is this beautiful amethyst pendulum. And it's really quite gorgeous. So I'm pretty excited that I found this too. And I like to, when I go places, I like to buy tarot decks there. And that's kind of one thing that I feel like helps me connect to that place that I was at. So last time I traveled anywhere, it was to Salem a few years ago, and I bought a tarot deck there. I bought the Halloween tarot at Salem, and every time I use it, I just kind of think about that time and that trip and all the good memories I have. So I wanted something very similar. I can't seem to leave my hair alone. I wanted something kind of similar from here. So I found this tarot deck at Yellow Brick Road, the Pagan Tarot. I've never seen this before, so I thought this could be interesting. I have really no idea what the cards look like. It was kind of a just impulse purchase, but like I say, I did want to get a tarot deck, but I didn't really expect to get something kind of pagan themed, but it kind of stood out to me. So this is the one I picked up. It says it's by Gina M. Pace, and artwork by Lusa Raimondo, and colors by Cristiano Spadoni, and I'm probably pronouncing that wrong. So let's take a boo. I haven't, like I say, I haven't opened them or anything because I wanted to share it with you guys. Especially where I'm not buying anything this year or planning to. At least I can do one little show and tell. I mean, it's just your kind of standard, your standard box. It's by Los Scarabo. They make a lot of tarot decks, so very common. Let's see, how did we get in here? So another little package. So we'll get this guy open. And we'll take a boo. Some first impressions. So the first thing I noticed is that I really like is that there are multiple languages on this tarot deck. So it looks like it's kind of a little bit for everybody, which I really like. And hopefully there's some good diversity in the cards. It came with a little book, little kind of those little books that Los Scarabro seems to add to their tarot decks. Nothing too fancy. So let's take a boo. So this is the Fool. I kind of like that. She's just kind of searching for herself, maybe out in the cosmos. She's got a little cat friend that's leading her. Very, very nice. Ooh, the Magician. And I like that these, I mean, it looks like there's a lot of female, you know, driven characters. My first impression anyway, which I really like. This is the High Priestess. The Empress shows a grandmother, which is really, really cool. I'm actually really liking these cards. I am noticing, I've heard the term tarot so white, and this is definitely, looks like one of those decks. I was hoping for more diversity because of the multiple languages that I saw on the cards. They have all kinds of languages. Does not look like they have included multiple different people. I am trying to, I mean, I'm not buying tarot decks right now, but I have noticed that my tarot collection, a lot of the decks that I don't use all the time are not diverse. And the decks that I do use, like the Book of Shadows Tarot, for example, is very diverse. And I really, really like that. And I like it when I'm reading for people because it's important when you're reading tarot cards that the people on the cards reflect the person getting the reading. As a white person, I feel like an idiot kind of trying to talk about this because I don't understand, but I can only assume that it would be very frustrating, and it would be like, I see myself in the cards all the time. I see white people all the time in the cards. I can relate. I'm like, these people are like me. And I don't know what that's like for other people of other races, and I think that would be frustrating. So I like reading for people with a nice mix of diversity. The more diversity, the better. So that's one little point I would take away from this deck. This one is the Hierophant, and it looks like kind of like a church, like everybody's going to church maybe. Oh no, I'm sorry, that was the Emperor. I don't really get that. That's the Emperor card. This is the Hierophant card, and it looks like it's like people burning books. So maybe people rebelling against traditional religion, where this is the Pagan Tarot. Yeah, I'll have to do some research. I gotta read the book because I'm not too sure what all of this is referring to. The Lovers. This is interesting to me because it's almost like she has to choose between like her family up here and then her spiritual life down here or something. And the Lovers card can be about choices. So I think that that's really cool. The Chariot, of course, a car. Perfect. Oh, I like this. This is the Strength card. Very pretty. I like that. The Hermit, someone doing some magical study. Love the cleavage, by the way. I don't like this one. This is the Wheel. I think they could have done more with that. Again, this is supposed to be the Pagan tarot, so I don't know why we're just looking at a pie graph. I like this one, Justice. The Hangman, that one's awesome. And it looks to me, maybe it's the same woman all throughout, because it goes the Hangman, here she is here, and then Death, she is, you know, I think what this is representing is like initiation, being initiated into the group. So you're being reborn, you're dying and being reborn, which I think is what's happening here. At first I thought maybe she was getting burnt, but I don't think that that's what's going on there. Which is good. We don't want to burn people at the stake anymore. Come on. Temperance. Maybe have patience when you're on the phone and on hold. I don't know. The Devil. Oh, I don't know about that. I don't know. I don't get it. The Devil. Like I say, I'm literally just opening this. I've done zero research on this deck, so I really don't know what these themes are. The Tower card to me is more of how I would see the Devil card, so that's interesting. And of course we've got some tits flashing up, and that's another thing. I like a deck, if we're gonna do nudity, let's do everybody's naked. You know, let's do male nudity, female nudity. I don't know why it always has to be a big old set of boobies on every card. Sometimes some decks are really bad for that. I think just men like to draw tits. Maybe I'm wrong. Sorry, guys. I know not every guy's like that. The Star. Well, this one makes sense. Nudity, of course, makes sense here because I think I see the Star as being vulnerable. And when you're naked, obviously you're very vulnerable. So that makes sense to me. I like that one. But sometimes I feel like nudity is just unnecessary. The Moon card's gorgeous. Love that. Wow, that one's really nice. The Sun. So we got this babe on the beach. Soaking in the sun. Judgment. I like this. Maybe we got some past life regression going on here. I like that. That fits to the kind of pagan theme that makes sense to me. And here is the World, which is a little confusing. I don't really know what's happening here. Ooh, the Ace of Chalices is really nice. And the back of the cards are really pretty too. I like that idea of having like communion with yourself. I'm not going to show all of the minor because I just don't want this video to be forever, but I like that one too. A little tea party going on here. Oh, I love this. So this is interesting to me. The Seven of Chalices, of course, in the traditional tarot is our guy with all the cups and the Rider-Waite. And we kind of have a similar idea here. And I really like how they designed those cups. Look at that. I hope that focuses. Love that. This is pretty too. The Ten of Chalices. Very pretty. I love these hopeful tarot cards. Love that. Strange, ugly little baby there too. Very creepy, ugly little baby. Some babies are so ugly. I've had that happen to me where like I know someone and they have a kid and the baby's just so ugly. And like, what do you do? What do you do? Because you know, you say, oh, they're so cute and blah, blah, blah. But like, they probably know that you're lying. I'm a terrible liar, so there's no doubt in my mind. Yeah, some babies are just ugly, like that one. So now we've got the court cards, and they're a little bit different. So it's the Elemental of Chalices, and I love that. Wow. And she has clothes on, so a bonus. Novice of Chalices, so this would be our knight. Very cool. I like this, the stages of kind of growing in your path. The Initiate of Chalices, which would be our queen. She's beautiful. And then we have the Elder of Chalices, which I think is really beautiful. That's another thing. I like to see different age ranges being represented in the tarot as well, because we don't always just read for young people. We read for all ages. And again, I would like to see all ages represented, so I like that. This is the Ace of Pentacles. Very cool. I like this one too, the 2. Maybe some balance between having fun and being spiritual and having to go to work. I get that. 3 of Pentacles, very pretty. I love that cone of power. And then we've got like this lady trying to do some shopping, maybe? I don't know. Let's see. This is the 6 of Pentacles. I don't really get this. That guy looks creepy as fuck. I don't know. Yeah, these are different. I think if I saw the cards, I don't know if I would have personally picked this deck, but that's good too, because I want to, when I'm exploring, sometimes you need to explore images that don't necessarily resonate with you, so you can learn a little bit more of where the author and where the artist is coming from. So I do think that that's a good thing. I will definitely still be studying these cards. Like that's the 10 of Pentacles, which, and I'm comparing this to the Rider-Waite, which I probably shouldn't do, because I don't think, like, it's a bit of a Rider-Waite clone, but not really. Like, it definitely goes off on its own kind of thing. But to me, the 10 of Pentacles is more about family and like wealth of family and not things. But oh, cute. So this kind of worked out. I mean, I am in Ireland. Oh, look at the little leprechaun. Oh, I love it. I love that. So that really makes me happy. Obviously, this was meant to be the deck, so I will see this and I will think of when I was in Ireland. So that's the Elemental, and this is the Novice. Love that. Beautiful. And it appears that Pentacles are fall in this deck, which I can totally get down with. And then we're in our Wands, the Ace of Wands. I like that one too. I kind of like the barren landscape. I don't like this whole technology. And it's funny because in my Book of Shadows So Below deck, which I use a lot, I love that deck. There is a lot of technology in it, but it's more of a modern everyday. It's not trying to be a spiritual deck. It's more of a mundane. So it fits where if I was spiritual stuff, when I see a computer, especially when it looks like it's from a long time ago, it takes me out of the magic. Oh, I like the 4 of Wands. Very nice. Beautiful. Maybe they just had a hand fasting. Everybody's celebrating. Very nice. Oh, 6 of Wands is pretty too. I like that. I think these cards would be fairly easy to read. I mean, you can definitely put the modern slant and use that. I find sometimes when cards depict a modern kind of environment, it's easier for us to connect to. So I like that too. But I don't like it when it's like spiritual and then we get computers everywhere. I'm weird. Using a little magic to fix your car. How many of us have tried that? I mean, seriously. Oh, the Elemental of Wands. I love that too. The Salamander. So maybe my other little elemental that I thought was a leprechaun is probably a gnome, but he looks like a leprechaun to me. And then in the Wands, because Wands obviously are masculine, they have men. And I really like that. I like that. Oh, look how happy he is. I really enjoy that. And here we go into the swords. Ooh, wait till you see the Two of Swords. I think it's my favorite card. I don't know. There's so many, like, that's awesome. That is awesome. I love that. That's beautiful. And the Three of Swords is kind of cool too. Check that out. Very scary card. At least to me. I'll tell you why. Because I was doing a reading for my sister and I. And sometimes the Three of Swords can also mean like a surgery, especially with the heart. And we both got it. I was doing a 12-month spread for both of us. And we both got it in November. And in November that year, my dad had a heart attack. So whenever I see this, I associate it with that. So I have to try to disassociate my own little bit of anxiety that the card gives me when I'm reading for others, because I always associate it with my own personal experience because it scared the shit out of me. Look at these people. They're getting out of Dodge. They're like, whoa, we burned down the cabin. Let's just peace right out. Very Canadian with the canoe. I like that. That's what we would do in Canada. You know, if the house is burning down, we just hop in our canoe and take right off. Ooh, the Eight of Swords is very cool too. I'm liking the sword suit. Yeah, I can get to that. This is me right now trying to find comfort in my bed. I mean, I miss Little Dick and I miss Mr. Winkles at home. Don't get me wrong. I haven't seen them in days. But, oh my God, I miss my bed. I miss my bed. Oh, it's just so inviting and lovely and soft and big. And, oh, I miss my bed. I relate to you, girl. I relate to you. I got you, girl. This is the Ten of Swords. This girl's pissed. She's breaking these swords. She's like, fuck this. I like that. Good girl power. The Elemental of Swords is really, really pretty. Again, we get those big boobies, but really, really pretty. I want to see in a tarot deck a woman with like just normal boobs. Like they're not perfect. You know, maybe one boob's a little bigger than the other, or they're a little saggy or droopy, or they're small and perky. I mean, these jugs are massive and they're just defying gravity. Oh, I like that too. And I like the yellow. I like the color association. Very cool. Very, very cool. So that's just a quick little go through of that deck. I don't know. I think it's going to be fun to learn from because it presents a lot of imagery that I would not associate with the cards. And it does deviate in some ways from the Rider-Waite, which I think is cool. Especially when you've studied the Rider-Waite for as long as I have. It's nice. It's refreshing to see different imagery because so many decks are... they're pretty much, they are like the Rider-Waite. So let's shuffle a couple of these babies and let's just do a little, you know, a card to represent, you know, a spiritual message for all of us. So what's a spiritual message, a lesson that we can all kind of take from this? Whoops, shit, they're going wild. All right, so we got the Initiate of Chalices. Very nice. So obviously this would be our Queen of Cups. So this is emotion and beauty and femininity. It is all about creativity and expressing yourself. So this is, I feel like her message for us is to get out of our box, experience something new, to grow spiritually through other means, through going down alleys that maybe you wouldn't typically go down, and to grow a little bit. So grow spiritually this month, or maybe going into February, because I guess the month is almost over. So that's it. That's my little Dublin update. It's raining. I really gotta go to the cemetery in the rain. It was funny, yesterday I went to go to the cemetery on the way home, and it was getting really dark, and the bus driver was like, oh, you know, like, are you sure you want to go there in the dark? And he's like, it's open, but are you sure? He's like, I just don't want you to get lost or be uncomfortable or be scared. And he wasn't worried about like murderers, he was worried about ghosts, is what he told me. And I just don't know, I'm a mortician at home, well, a training mortician, and I was like, I think I'll be okay. But I wanted to go back in the daytime, so hopefully this rain will stop and settle down a little bit and I can get out. And thank you so much for hanging out with me. I will be posting more videos when I get back to my hometown. When I get back across the pond. I've had a wonderful time in Dublin, and if you're ever thinking of coming here, please do. It's a magical place. It's amazing, and I hope that if you follow me on Instagram, I've been posting pictures so you can kind of see what I've been up to. Thank you so much for watching and hanging out, and I hope that you have an amazing and magical rest of your day. Bye.